All right, so this is our puff pastry dough. It's been resting. It's pliable but cold. This is super important that you go ahead and get it while it's pliable. That's about 30 minutes in the fridge. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting in the middle and I'm rolling outward, and I've already got the length of a sheet pan. So now I just have to do the width. And it's important to do this because what I've discovered in the past is that when students roll it out and they make a blob this big, it takes a lot more time to get it sized out. And this table is low. Your kitchen counters at home are typically a lot higher. You may want to do a step stool or whatever, or maybe get it to a lower, maybe a dining room table, and that will help give you some leverage on your rolling pin. All right, so now we've got the length. Now we're going to get the width. Once again, starting in the middle and working your way out. And later down the road, when we do pie dough, you'll understand why this is so important. Going from the center out is super huge. All right, up. All right, so now we've got it roughly to the size of our sheet pan. I'm now going to do another book fold. So I want to pull that in. Okay. Fold that over. Give it a turn. And once again, lock that in place. So we'll give it one more. So 48 times 4, you do the math at home, folks. A little bit of flour, just to make sure everything's there. Okay. So these layers of butter, the barrage, and the flour mixture, the trimp, are getting super thin. Just micro thin. And each one of those layers holds the potential for steam coming from the butter, but also from the dough, because the dough has water in it as well. So it's not just the butter itself that's causing the layers. It's also the water that's in the dough itself. All right, so I'm going to do our last book fold. Okay, fold that over. Real nice. This has 4 book folds. Okay, so it's not a letter fold. We'll be doing letter folds during artisan bread when we do our croissants and our Danish and we'll also do a traditional letter fold for that one in there as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, with the help of our videographer, the layers that we built. So they're micro thin, but as I turn the dough like so, you can see all of those layers showing up. So that is our puff pastry. We're gonna wrap this up, put it in the fridge, and reserve it for sheeting later. So we've got our refrigerated puff pastry. This is half the dough. I've sheeted it. So one sheet half, okay, gives you a full-size sheet pan. It's a little thick. I like it a little thick for what I'm about to show you. This would be something that you can go ahead and do while you're at home right now. It's called a vol au vent, where you actually make like a little basket, basically. So I'm going to cut these nice size square. This last little strip over here I'm going to use for another application at a later date. As long as I keep it in the fridge, will be fine. And then I'm going to cut. So I'm trying to make sure that they are actually squared up as good as possible. So once again, if I have something that's not a square, I'll be able to use that at a later date for a pocket or whatever. So what I have here is a nice little chisel knife. I'm going to cut so that this piece right here is free. And I'm then going to connect up here as well. So the idea is I'm connecting in this area and then making sure that it sticks. Now to get that to stick, we'll put a little bit of water on that and we'll get those to stick, but you can kind of see how we're going to be doing this, and then we're going to get these in the oven. So we'll just move through by cutting these and then attaching them with the water. Now after you get everything attached, you're going to take a fork and put holes just in that bottom part, and then we'll go ahead and get it into the pan, and we'll bake these in a high temperature oven, about 400 degrees, for about 15 to 17 minutes. So 375 degrees. I use the convection oven. You may want to do 400 at home. You can see these are super cute and extremely practical. So you could take this fork, for instance, and you can actually, after this hardens up, you can actually take and remove that piece and let that dry out. This is a nice vessel for a really good soup or a stew, or you could even do the sweet application, which would maybe be like some pastry cream or Bavarian cream and some fresh fruit. So have fun with the puff pastry. Try out a couple of different things from the book, but this is your activity to kind of play with and see what you think.